Hi guys, Del here, welcome to the channel. Today I just wanted to discuss with you quickly tourniquets. Let's have a little practice of the tourniquets. Now a lot of us have them in our kits and I just wanted to show you how I practice with it. And there's lots of different types. You've got the rat, you've got a normal CAT tourniquet, and you've also got the SWAT tourniquet. Today we're going to be covering the CAT type tourniquet, which is predominantly what most people use. They are very good. This is a genuine CAT one, so it is marked. Genuine ones are marked as CAT, and there's a lot of subtle differences like the buckles and things like this. However, practice one, this is one that comes in any kit that you can buy. You can buy lots of different IFAK kits. You can pick them up for around about £35 to £50. Now they're not all going to have CAT tourniquets in, but they have similar ones. There is differences in these with the thickness of the buckles and things like that, and I'm going to show you what to look for when you're using these. Now, just because it isn't CAT doesn't mean to say that it won't work. So I'll show you some simple things to look for and to check, and if in doubt, chuck it out your pack and just use it for training purposes, and buy a CAT if you want, or a Recon. There's some really good ones out there. It doesn't have to be the top end branded prices, but there is some really good manufacturers out there. Recon's a good one too. I am getting one of those and I'll show you it. But this is just a standard one out of any IFAK that you'll buy on the likes of Amazon, online, things like that. And I'll show you, and we'll put it under test and see if it's going to break or if it's going to slip. They do sometimes break, they do sometimes slip. Don't throw them out completely, guys. Use it for training. So get your wife, your kids, your gender fluid unicorn lovers to practice with you. Whoever's about, practice. Now the standard ways to set up, you'll see all my TQs are set up already to be used. Lots of people have them and they're not even ready to use. So you'll see it and they'll be strapped over, they won't even be ready. So what do I mean by ready? Well, ready means it's ready for application. So the time band is to the side and it's already looped. So what do I mean by looped? Looped means it's preset. So when we pull it out, we've got it already set to a required standard size. This is for quick deployment. You can set it to its largest setting, pull it on and pull it over. I keep it to a 6 for a pack, and that way it's nice and easy to pack in your pack. Okay, now there's lots of companies out there that stress on one-handed applications and things like that. That's good for treating for yourself. You know you're using your predominant hand. If not, practice with your other hand, because there's nothing to say that you're not going to lose or be short or have an injury to your predominant hand. Now, what they don't always emphasize in the training of one-handed techniques is that you may have severed that limb might be gone completely, or it's just hanging on by an inch. There's going to be a lot of stress and a lot of stuff going on in your head as you're trying to arrest that bleeding. So it's not always simulated. So in the classroom they'll put a little pencil line on and you'll mess about, put it in your teeth and put it on one-handed. Yeah, that's all good in an environment where you can do that. Unfortunately, I've had to use them and I've seen them too many times. Doing it once is more than enough times, to be honest with you. In the life situation, it's a whole different ball game when someone's in pain. When someone's clutching a bleed, you trying to pry their hand away to put a tourniquet on it or even get around it and try and assess it is a whole different ball game. Trust me, I know about that. And also about improvised tourniquets. So people dismiss these tourniquets and things like that, but in my time we used improvised tourniquets. You used your belt, you used your SLR sling and a 20-year-old field dressing. Don't ever dismiss things that could potentially save life. But I use these for practice, and I'm going to show you little things to look for when we put it on and apply it. So let's crack on with that. Let's move this camera down a bit. So a lot of the time people like to do skin contact tourniquets, but care under contact is for the quickest time possible. So we'll put it over clothing. All you're trying to do is to arrest the bleeding and not to become a casualty yourself. So we put it on, Notice I'm pulling the strap towards me because I'm applying it to myself, so to get the maximum leverage. If I was working over, I wouldn't get the leverage on it, so I'm pulling it towards myself and I'm pulling it tight as I can. Now there's a rule of thumb that you go for a 3-finger test. If you can get the tips of your fingers underneath that after applying it, it's not tight enough before you apply the windlass. So as you can see, I can't. I've put it on. Now we're going to wind the windlass. Some are metal, some are plastic. Now this is a fake CAT, or it's a tourniquet, it's not a CAT. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to tighten it, and you tighten it and tighten it until you squeal like a pig. Some of you won't. So that's nice and tight now, and we're just going to clip that in there. So that is tight. I'll go through this part because it's pretty tight. What you're looking for on cheap ones is any distressing. Plastic that's cheap or is going to fill will actually start going white. You'll start seeing white parts, which is a stress on it, or you'll see fraying or slipping on that material. Now we've put that over, we're going to use the rest of the strap to put over the windlass, like so. Okay, and then we're going to put the time over like such. If appropriate, put the time on it. If you're doing it yourself under care, under combat, you probably might not have time to do that yourself. You're trying to get out of the situation, arrest your bleeding, and jog on until you're suitably in an area that you can do it and get on with it. The reason for the time is for the time of application of the tourniquet, for any limb damage that you may be doing to it, and also for pain relief that can be administered by the next service that you come across. So I'm going to loosen this now because I'm getting pins and needles in my hand, which is a good sign, but not for me. So we'll take that off. Oh. So as you can see, this was not a genuine CAT. And we're looking for any visible signs of stressing. So is there any white marks on that plastic? That's what we're looking for. I'm trying to get the camera into focus with that. So there's no white stressing on it anywhere. It didn't slip and it didn't tear. So to me, that would actually work. Now I use this particular one. You've seen me with pictures in different groups, things like that I'm part of, say UK and whatnot, Jackal Firearms. I have this on my day sack in a tourniquet sheath. Now I would actually use this one. It does work. I've tested it, and I've tested it all the time, and that's what I practice with. So that's my tourniquet prepped, ready for its next usage. Don't throw these away, and practice. It's imperative that you practice. Practice weekly if you can. It only takes 5 minutes, like I've showed you there. And like I said, get your kids involved, get your wife involved, get your unicorn gender fluid lovers involved, or whatever takes your boat, you know, whatever your partner is, use them to help you with this. If you haven't got a partner, practice yourself. So that's my advice with using tourniquets. That was just a quick guide to that. I applied that care under combat, or care under contact. We apply it over clothing. That way all we're trying to do is arrest the bleeding, and then once we're out of the situation, we can then go into exploration of where the bleeding is, pack the wound, dress the wound, everything like that. You can apply two tourniquets in some situations, but we can discuss that in other videos. So I just wanted to show you that. That's just a quick practice of applying a tourniquet. This one's for demonstration, genuine. I do have them, so don't think I don't. So I don't need belly bleaters on saying only use a CAT. These can work, but you need to check them because they can fail as well, and you don't want it to fail when it counts. So for training, by all means use the one that comes in your cheap IFAK kits. Train till your heart's content. Give your kids them, give everybody one and train with them. They're good for that. If it breaks in training, so what? Have the genuine one so you know how to use it. So that's my advice, is train. You can never practice too much, guys. Tourniquet is a taboo subject with a lot of people. It's just training, simple as that. Put it on, get it tight, arrest the bleeding, and then get the help that you need for it. can maybe save your life and someone else's one day, guys. So get training, get simple first aid. Some places run first aid courses free. You've got the Red Cross, you've got St John's, you've got St Andrews. Get into these places. They run half-day courses that you can go and do, and you can go to annually. They're great to attend, great for a little bit of knowledge for you. So tourniquets, practice, 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 and get lessons, get training. Imperative. This day and age, training everyone should have training. They should be trained at schools on first aid. But there you go, guys. That's a quick look at applying a tourniquet. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Preppadel out.